Hello everyone, this is Omar making a video on the Bitcoin Expert Advisor for MT5. I finally finalized it and I've optimized the settings, and these settings that I've found so far are doing good on the backtest. So I'm going to open an account soon, put some money into it, and then let this run a week and then give you guys an update on what it does, just like I've been doing with the USDN Momentum EA. So same way I'd be updating whatever this is doing. I'm gonna open up a new account because I don't want to put the Bitcoin and the USDN EA on the same account, because then I can't really show you guys like which one's doing, how much percentage profit, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have separate accounts. Now, the settings for the EA, at least these top settings, are basically the same as the USDN Momentum EA. We have the risk percentage on each trade. This EA does not have a fixed lot size. It uses just a percentage of your account on every trade, right? This is just the magic number, the identification number, so you can make this whatever you want. Start hour, stop hour. Again, you can change this to whatever you want. I've optimized these as well, so this is so far the best I've got, which is just leave it on 24/7, right? Number of bars, you can change this, and changing this will change your returns, right? So you can backtest with this here. And now what I've done with the actual trade settings, which is like the TP stop loss, trailing stop loss, and the trigger of the trailing stop loss, is since Bitcoin has it how much it moves is different every week, every month, right? Some month Bitcoin can be very stable, and then another month is just going crazy, right? And so it doesn't make sense to have a fixed stop loss. Like for Forex, right? You can have a fixed stop loss of 5 pip no matter what for like USDN. Because USDN doesn't have that type of thing like Bitcoin, right? Like USDN, normally its daily range is 180 and it sticks to that, right? But Bitcoin can be like moving like crazy some days. So I've made the TP and stop loss a percentage of the price instead of a fixed TP and stop loss, right? It's a percentage of the price. So you don't need to know much about that. These are just the settings. You can play around with them. Simple as that. Play around with them in the backtest, and whatever good settings you find, then just keep that, right? So I'll actually run the backtest. This is the graph, right? But I'll run it for you guys so you guys can actually see. So we'll go into these settings of the backtest. So you can see BTC, Momentum EA, MT5. We have it on Bitcoin, the 5-minute chart. We're going to start this backtest from January 1st of this year till Friday. For the delay, I'll do the last ping to my server, which is 50 ms, right? Modeling every tick based on real ticks. This is super important. If I did every tick, like this graph would look so good, right? But every tick is not a good way to kind of backtest. Every tick does not account for spread and slippage and all that stuff, right? We want every tick based on real ticks, okay? These are actual historical ticks, everything that happened, it backtest on. Deposit $5,000, we'll use that for the starting, and then leverage I'm using 1 to 100, and looks good. Click start, and then go on to the graph, and let it load here. Boom. Okay, so it's starting. Now you can see that this behaves similar to the USDN robot, right? That it's not like straight going up and up and up and up and up. It has a fixed stop loss, right? So it takes the loss. A lot of EAs that you see, they're going straight up and up and up, have big drawdowns, right? Because what they normally do is they don't have a fixed stop loss. They'll just be in drawdown and they don't actually ever take the loss in that sense, right? But those are dangerous in my opinion. This one, it has a slight curve up and then kind of flat, and then another nice push up, then kind of flat, but it's still going profit slowly, right? Now you look at the backtest report, you'll see history quality is 100%. We started with 5,000. We have a net profit of basically $60,000. We have profit factor of 4.08, recovery factor of 13.4, right? So that's good. Now, one thing you want to notice here is if you look at the maximum balance drawdown, it's 26%, and the equity drawdown is 22%. So that looks like a lot, right? Like 26%. But that's only because if you go into the graph, right? Where did that 26% happen? It happened right here, right? Let me run it again, and I want you to keep an eye on like the beginning of the backtest, right? Let me start it again. Going up, going up, going up. Here, you see that little dip? That's the 26% maximum drawdown. So if you look at the overall scope of the last few months, there's no big drawdown at all. But since it was towards the beginning of the backtest, it looks like a big drawdown. Just because, you know, the backtest just started, so boom, 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 and I had a little dip. So that's the only reason why you see that 26%. But it's overall, if you look at the actual graph, there is no big drawdown at all. There is only these slight little, you know, steep little hills, but it's not a big drawdown at all. So that's one thing you want to note. That don't get scared of this 26% drawdown, right? It's not like that. And you can see here we had a 60% win rate, consecutive wins, 7,000 almost, consecutive losses, 3,000. So overall good. Backtest, this is something I definitely use. If the EA actually performs like this, I would 100% use the EA like this. I will, like I said, open up a account, put some money in, and then let it see how it performs in the upcoming weeks. Let's do a quick update on the USDN EA while we're at it. So this is the USDN EA. I have it on this chart on this broker. Good look at the history. So I put this EA on. It's been 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, it's done 13%. Oh, it's a 10K account. 10K account. So it made 13%, 13.4% profit. So far so good. That's doing amazing. And now I'm gonna run the Bitcoin EA as well, and then just how I'm updating you guys on the USDN EA, I'll also be updating you guys on the Bitcoin EA. So I'm gonna let it run for a week, and then I'll make weekly videos. So I'll make one video showing both of the, you know, results. So that way I won't have to make multiple videos. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. I've explained this EA, everything I had to explain, and it's gonna be on my website underneath the robots tab. So when you go to my website, you're gonna see a tab that says robots. Underneath that, it's gonna say USDN momentum EA and then Bitcoin momentum EA. You choose what you want to do. Now I could backtest this from longer, so instead of just these few months, I could backtest it from, let's say, last year, 2024. And if I were to run that backtest, look at the graph. It has to load the history there, so give it a second. This is gonna be basically like a year and 6 months. So the graph you can see here, there's literally no big equity drawdowns or balance drawdowns. It's very steady going up, right? This is not like other EAs like I explained to you, like it's just going straight up and up and up, because those EAs normally have a big amount of drawdown. So, or at least equity drawdown. This one, you know, slightly going up and up and up and up, and it's like that. If you look at the back test, that $5,000 turned into $200,000 profit. But the reason this is not the best back test is just because look at the history quality. It's 28%, right? So it's not like a you know, that the back test is completely irrelevant, but I rather forward test this first, right? But the last 6 months coming profit. You could see here, but the balance drawdown, all that, it's around 3 to 4%. This is more realistic. That 26% was only because as soon as we started the backtest, it immediately dipped, and so it did that, right? But this was running for, you know, a year and a half, so this is how it actually comes. I'll also just do a quick backtest running from the last month. So like the let's do April 1st. So now, the last 2 months basically. So this is the last 2 months. You can see here the 5,000 turned into 7,000 profit in the last 2 months, and recovery factor of 4.85, which is almost 5 right there. That's really good. Profit trade 60%. Maximum balance drawdown 13%. Equity down was 17%. Again, this is such a short amount of time where like these dips here, like look on the like, percentage-wise big amount, but it's not at all. Like this dip happens, of course it happens, right? So pretty much it. One more thing I want to tell you guys is that this EA works best on IC markets, just because it needs zero spread, and IC markets has zero spread. Okay, so and when I say zero, I mean like zero. Like IC, if you look at IC markets, they have virtually no spread at all, right? So if you have access to IC markets, you can choose either between this or the USDN Momentum EA, right? Whichever one you prefer. I am trying to code one for Nasdaq and gold, so when those are ready, or I will let you guys know. But for now, these two are active, live. You can get them on our website. Okay, so I think that's it. Like I said, I'll update you guys when the E4 test happens at the end of the week. I'll make update videos, so just make sure you guys stay tuned for that, right? So bye for now, and talk to you guys later.